Hello and welcome to another edition of Paranormal Activity and Mysterious Stories. Let me give you a quick preview of what I got coming up in this video. The first is an older video out of Maricopa, Arizona. Shows this UFO. It's a really unstabilized footage, but thankfully someone was able to stabilize some of the footage, so we get to see what this thing is doing. Also have this video here from 2019. It shows this strange person. I don't know what to make of this, if this is some kind of CGI thing, but I remember when this thing first came out, I thought it had to be fake, but again, you know, I've been fooled too many times. I don't know what to make of this, but we'll take a look at that. This is a video from Reddit where it shows this huge storm cloud approaching. But, you know, I like to think that it's a hidden UFO. Here's a link to all of these different photographs that this some person compiled. A UFO collection, UFO curated collection, most labeled location and date, authenticity not guaranteed. This is a compilation of all the different images that have been taken, you know, throughout the years. And yeah, like the guy said, some may be real, some not. But that's definitely interesting to take a look at. I have this document here from I think this was from the FBI, but it's a guidance on how to take UFO photographs. Came from a top secret file. Also have this video here of an old Oprah Winfrey show. Siblings' bizarre story of being abducted by aliens. But this was from 1994. But you know, I watched this thing. It's only 6 minutes long. Yeah, I don't think these guys are hoaxers, because they never really tried to profit off of this, and I don't know why. If they're not going to profit off of it, you know, why they would put themselves out like this to be ridiculed. I mean, maybe some people, you know, are masochistic, whatever, and they want to do stuff like that, but I don't know. We'll take a look at a few minutes of it, and I'll leave a link so you can take a look at the rest of it. Also have this link here to the Dyatlov Pass incident. It's this story of these 9 young Soviet hikers who died under mysterious circumstances while trekking through the Ural Mountains in what's now known as the Dyatlov Pass incident. I think I'm saying that right. Dyatlov Pass incident. But anyways, you know, I've heard this story many, many times. I've heard bits and pieces of it, and I know we were never, ever given the complete story. And yeah, and if you read through this whole story, yeah, you definitely don't get the complete story, because this guy here, Rich Hall, he got into much more research on this, and he reveals that that these hikers basically were autopsied. They had the same markings that the cow mutilation are very similar to the cow mutilation type markings. Yeah, I've never read any report that these hikers had injuries that were similar to cow mutilations, but apparently they were. And also, I have these stories about these cats that are being mutilated all over the planet, I guess. I mean, here's a story from June 22nd. Mutilated cats in Kelowna. Another 7 mutilated cats in Kennewick. This is on June 16th. This is another one, June 16th. 4 disfigured cats. This is in Washington or Toronto. Oh no, this is Ontario. Yeah, this is Toronto. And then, you know, I remember reading about these cat mutilations going back to at least 2003 or 2004. You know, and here's a story here from 2014. Animal welfare groups request for help in cat cut in half. And a lot of these stories are going to try and say that, you know, that there was coyotes. But I also found a story that found coyotes in the same situation where they were decapitated and things like that. And yeah, and if these were predators, the predators would have eaten the whole thing. They wouldn't have just cut them in half and then dropped them on the owner's front lawn. So anyways, let me go to this first video here. Now, yeah, these are like 3 or 4 different clips. And you can see, like, I don't know how, where you get this stabilization program from, but thank God, because the original footage was just very, very shaky. Yeah, this video is, just almost 7 minutes long, but then he gets in these analysis like here where, you can see it at 200% speed, 100 scale. So you really get an idea of what this little craft is doing. But there's clip 2. And I think this is the original clip here. So you can see how it's, obviously the person didn't have a tripod or anything like that out there.
Bella, stop moving. Bella, stop.
Yeah, this guy was obviously having trouble focusing on it, but then he finally does. And, like I said, someone thankfully put this footage through one of those stabilization programs, and, we get a much clearer shot of what this thing is. But anyways, I'll leave a link in the description. You can check it out. Let me go to the next video here. Yeah, this video is from June 12th, 2019. And like I said, when I first saw this, I'm like, this is either a person or it's some kind of CGI job.
Then take a look at this viral video from La Junta in southeastern Colorado. All right, Vivian Gomez wrote on Facebook that her security camera captured this on Sunday morning. There are people on Facebook who say it looks like Dobby from Harry Potter, or a ghost or an alien, or a kid in flip-flops and underwear.
Yeah, I mean, that body shape just doesn't look like it's a normal child, if this is a child. And look at the way it's walking, with its feet like completely splayed out.
Gomez wrote on Facebook that,
Like, yeah, is this a person? Is this a little kid? I mean, is this some type of, is our perspective being altered some way because of all the lines and the lighting or something? Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, if this is real or not, but it's definitely interesting. Let's see. Let me go to this video. Oh, now again, this is a Reddit video. I have issues with Reddit. I may not be able to play this all the way through, but let's take a look at this. Look at the size of that thing. I mean, I'm sure this is, a natural atmospheric phenomenon, but, I'd like to think that there's a giant boomerang UFO behind those clouds. But then maybe not. Anyways, this link here, it's a Flickr account, UFO collection. UFOs curated collection, most labeled with location and date, authenticity not guaranteed. There's 186 photos. I think this one here is kind of interesting. I wonder if this is real. I think these are real. These are obviously U.S. test craft. Here are those drones that, these drones supposedly disappeared. I've done a video about these. People saw this and they would flicker in and out. And they also have some documents on how these were built or what these are. But anyways, there's 186 of these. I'm not going to go through all of these in this video, but I will leave a link so you can check them out. Here's an interesting document here. This was apparently put out by I think it was the CIA or the FBI. Guidance to UFO photographers. So, I know a lot of people complain about why are, a lot of these photos blurry or out of focus. And you got to understand, when people see UFOs, they're definitely not expecting to see a UFO. And even if they have a camera ready, you have to make sure you set your shutter speed at a high enough setting so that you can, capture a nice crisp frame of the UFO, because some UFOs are moving real fast, and if you don't have your shutter speed set high enough, you're going to get something blurry. Or if you don't have your depth of field set correctly. But here, have camera set at infinity. Fast film such as Tri-X is very good. You can tell how old this was. They're still talking about film. For a moving object, shutter speeds not slower than 1/100th of a second should be used. Shutter and f-stop combination will depend upon lighting conditions, dusk, cloudy day, bright sunlight, etc. If your camera does not require such settings, just take pictures. Do not move camera during exposure. Yeah, pretty basic stuff. But again, most people aren't professional photographers or have professional level equipment, when a UFO suddenly appears. And again, I think most people would be shocked if they saw something, something like that, something unexpected, and wouldn't be able to, take all the necessary steps to take a perfect photo. But anyways, let's go on to this next video here. This is a very interesting video. It's a sibling bizarre story of being abducted by aliens, and this is from the Oprah Winfrey Show. Here it says, in 1994, Randy and his sister, Glinda, appeared on the Oprah Winfrey Show to claim that they were visited by aliens during their childhood. The siblings recalled their terrifying encounters and explained why they genuinely believed they were abducted by extraterrestrials. And let's see, this, John Mack was also involved with this. Now, I'm just going to play a little bit because I'm pretty sure if I try to play, I'll get copyright violations.
Here with his sister, Glinda, who says she too has been abducted since childhood. Since what age? Do you remember?
5.
5 years old. And at 5 years old, what happened? So some of what Dr. Mack described earlier here?
Right. I had I consciously remembered my experience when I was 5, but I had bits of it that were missing. And what I remember is that through my wall came some beings around my bed.
Good. I can't play. I know if I play any more of this, this company will hit me with copyright violations. But anyways, her mother or their mother is also there to confirm that this did happen. And one thing they say is how they all remember it happening, but for some reason they said it was somehow forced into the back of their memory where they just didn't talk about it and until something, until they were prompted for some reason. But I think this is authentic. I don't see why these people would tell this story if they weren't trying to sell books or profit in some way, if they weren't starting to do like seminars and go on speaking tours. But anyways, link will be in the description. This is a very interesting article, The Harrowing Mystery of the Dyatlov. I think that's how you say it, Dyatlov Pass Incident. In January of 1959, 9 young Soviet hikers died under mysterious circumstances while trekking through the Ural Mountains in what's known as the Dyatlov Pass Incident. So, this story has definitely been out for a while. I've seen videos on it. I've read other articles about it. And even if you go through this article mentions how, or they may allude to the notion that they were attacked by either locals or, the Russian government just completely concluded that that it was an avalanche that took these people out. But something that I've also found interesting is the fact that the Russian government went out of their way to investigate this and also to recover the body. Because, like, from my understanding, if you try to go up to the Mount McKinley, if you try to get up to any high mountain peak and you end up dying up there, I mean, don't they just leave the bodies up there because it's so difficult to get those bodies and bring them back down? And, from my understanding, where these guys went was also a very difficult place to get to, but the Russian government still chose to recover all the bodies and to investigate what went on. Now, for sure, the Russian government's conclusion is completely a made up story. But this guy here, Rich TV, he does a much more research on these deaths, and he reveals a lot more. Let me go to where he first talks about these guys.
Before we examine Derek Goff's story, let's briefly look at another case which seems to show some of the telltale signs. It occurred in Russia. 9 hikers who'd gone mountain climbing, were in a tent, and something happened.
Yeah, this is 1959, and there's some very blurry, poor images circulating around the internet. Lots of speculation what happened to them. Of course, the height of the colour war, how much information was coming out of Russia was pretty zero by and large. Apparently post-mortems were done and they found the bodies, and they'd obviously been terrified the way they exited the tent. There was apparently knife cuts in it, but that might not be knife cuts. And they were found at different distances apart. But suddenly we're actually in a line again. They found the bodies in a line. And but one of the females, 2 females in the party, and one of them, even from the fuzzy photographs, you can clearly see she's got a mandible strip exposing her gums and her teeth.
Yeah, you see what they say, that, that there's a strip of her lips that were taken, and they never talk about that. They do talk about how there was a massive internal injuries, but they don't tell you that there were actually some organs missing on these people. So, yeah, it seems to me that these people went through something similar to cow mutilations. And a lot of these guys, they had their eyeballs missing. So let's see. Let me go to another part that he mentions that I thought was pretty significant.
With him to disclose information linked to UFO sightings in South Wales and in other countries. Goff then had 3 separate meetings with the witness, who turned out to be a military man and worked in a NATO Black Ops team. He was one of 11 men who were selected from Special Forces regiments stationed at Hereford. The 11 were all volunteers who were asked if they wanted to be part of a special group in which the operations would be dangerous and something different. He explained to Goff the function of the team was a fast response, find and secure operation. They were on 24-hour standby and would be dispatched in military aircraft, then in a helicopter, to specific locations where UFO activity had been monitored. They would land their helicopter, and the team's job was to search the ground for any remains or evidence and prevent any disturbance of the site. Remains might be human corpses, vehicles, or in some cases even a landed UFO craft. It sounds incredible, but I have met with Derek Goff's source several times now, and I have verified he is real and seems genuine about having worked in a NATO Black Ops team. I will explain the information he gave to me later in the film.
Yeah, now, I remember watching another one of these films by Rich Hall where he tracks down one of these guys that was involved in this Black Ops team that went around and recovered alien or crashed alien saucers or anywhere where there was UFO activity. And I remember one thing that he mentioned is how the Americans were always involved. And even in this video here, he talks about how the Russians were glad to allow the Americans to, to take a lead on all of this UFO stuff. Oh yeah, and another thing that he talks about in the other video where he's hunting down this this guy that he believes was part of this Black Op team. He said that any time there was UFO activity or a UFO crash, it was always the Americans that showed up. He said no matter where on the planet there was UFO activity or a UFO crash, it was always the Yanks that showed up. So, I got to thinking how the U.S. military has bases all over the planet. And I always wondered, why do other countries, especially like Russia or China, allow the United States to put military bases so close to their borders? And maybe this is the reason why. Like this guy says, anytime there's UFO activities, the Yanks are always there. And is this the reason why, we're always able to be anywhere on the planet where there's UFO activities at a moment's notice? And is this the reason why we have so many military bases all over the planet, that these aren't necessarily, military bases to protect American interest, but it's military bases to house these quick response teams to go and investigate or to secure, any site where there's UFO activity. Anyways, that's definitely something to think about. And another thing, I want to mention is, in this video they're talking about how these humans were mutilated similar to the cow mutilations, and something that's not getting a lot of press, are these reports of mutilated cats. Now, here, this story here, this is from June 22nd, 2020. I don't remember how many cats were mutilated, but this is in Kelowna. And look at this story, June 16th, 2020. 7 mutilated cats found dead in Kennewick. And here, this is June 16th, 2020, a few days before that. 4 disfigured cats in Vaughan Park prompt police investigation. And this is in Toronto. Police of North Toronto are warning residents to keep an eye on their pets after the grisly discovery of 4 disfigured dead cats. Now, most of these cats are found either cut in half or with their heads cut off. Right? And again, if you read the stories, of course, they're going to try to attribute this to either coyotes, other predators, or some kind of a cult group. But yeah, here's a story here. This is from 2014. And like I said previously, I remember reading about this epidemic, I think in 2003 or 2004, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, something is definitely going on. This is images of the body of a cat cut in half has been circulating online. Now I'm going to go down and show these photos. So, if you can't handle this, end the video now. But yeah, look at this. Look at that cat cut in half. Now, if this was a predator, they would have eaten the whole thing. And also, yeah, I found another story. I didn't include it, but where they were finding coyotes in the same situation, cut in half or with their heads cut off. So, and even if this were coyote, like I lived in a neighborhood, like, and one of my cats actually got taken by coyotes, so I know what coyotes can do. I've seen videos of coyotes eating cats, and when a coyote eats a cat, it eats the whole cat. There's nothing left. It eats every single bit of the cat. And a lot of times, like I read more articles about this. Whatever's going on with these cats, again, it's bloodless. And a lot of times these cats are returned to their neighbor's front yard, or, maybe a couple houses down or something like that. But whoever's doing this is, quote unquote, kind enough to return the cats, at least somewhat close to either where they were taken or to, to the owner. But yeah, this is something that the media is not talking about, but it's going on, and it's been going on for a long time. But anyways, I'll leave links to all of these stories in the description. You can check it out. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.